morning. It's Thursday the 27th of May on 2021 and here I am in Wigtown, and as you just saw from the clock on my left hand side on the, I can only assume it's probably the council buildings, you know, the local hierarchy kind of place. Beautiful building. I've no idea what to call it, but it certainly is. And I'm parked immediately behind me and sitting here just in the sunshine at the bowling club, and I wish I'd have brought my woods with me and I'd have done a few ends with somebody. It'd have been very nice. Quite an interesting night last night. Where to start is difficult. I got a phone call this morning from Australia from my friend Tony Duke, who's it was around about sort of 4:30 in the afternoon at that time, something like that, and a very, very nice long chat. And he was telling me that where he is, which is about 130k from Melbourne, they've gone back into lockdown. It's that serious out there, and I can remember the problems he had during when it was the UK lockdown, you know, around about Christmas time, where his mother lived inside the boundary of Melbourne but he couldn't go in, and you know, a very interesting call, Tony. Thank you for calling. It was lovely to hear from you as always. And one of the things that he was telling me about is the amusement that every time I come to a red traffic light where there's roadworks and I stop and wait for the green light. And he also asked me a couple of weeks ago, or last week maybe, do I slow down for the red squirrels? Well, yes, I do. And he was quite amused actually that there's a fish shop here in Wigtown called the Frying Scotsman, which I think is hilarious. That really tickled me. But I also got a message from my friend Ross Z. Smith in the United States. I'm not entirely sure where he lives, but I think it's kind of New York State or somewhere around there, or North Carolina, I'm not quite sure which, to say that yesterday's film, that's day 15, he said there was a sound problem. And I've been racking my brains thinking, well, how could there have been a sound problem? You know, I checked it and all the rest of it like I do. You edit the film, which took me about 2.5 hours, and I parked in a place where there's a good internet signal. I'd already published day 14 from that very same place, so I thought, well, how could there be? And it's a funny story, this. When I say a funny story, it's quite amazing. I was parked on this car park where I've shown you before, a big car park. There must be room for maybe about 400 vehicles. And there was a tap on my door as I was uploading the film to YouTube from a couple of workmen saying, sorry to bother you, mate, you know, do you mind moving your van a couple of parking places down, because we're going to be putting some cones up here, and tomorrow is the COVID testing day in Newton Stewart. So I said, would you just mind moving up another sort of, you know, 2 or 3 spaces? I said, yeah, that's not a problem. And in that space, from me starting the engine and moving the van 20 metres, if that interfered with the signal that was going in. So the consequence of that was there was a sound fault where the lip sync went off for a while, which when I watched it I thought, oh no, you know, I've got to start all over again from square one. And I'd already deleted the original, so, you know, I would have to make it all again. And I thought, oh no, you know, this is awful. But I was just cooking my breakfast at the time, and but I'm pleased to say that the lipstick did come back in, so I'm really sorry. It wasn't my fault, strictly speaking, and I don't check films twice. I only check them once, and once is enough. But thanks for pointing it out, Ross, and I hope it didn't you know, spoil your enjoyment. And but as I say, it didn't last that long. So I drove up here after the film had sort of finished. It was only 20-minute drive, and I saw a pub and I thought, well, it was about 8 o'clock by that time, so I thought, well, I'll go and have one beer. You know, I need to do a bit of sort of what I call it, paperwork, you know, updating and transferring and all this kind of stuff. I thought, well, I'll have one beer, and I didn't realise that Manchester United were playing in the European, whatever it is, Europa final. And so I watched it for a while, but there was about 20 people in there, all Scotsmen, all in the, probably I would say 30 or 40s, one or two older than that, all glued to the TV set. It was impossible to have a conversation with anyone because nobody wanted to talk, they just wanted to watch the football. And I got a bit bored with that, so I just had my one pint, which I thought I would do. Went back to the van, and I was doing, I can multitask with what I do, but I ended up not watching the football, but reading the commentary on a minute by minute basis. And so it went to extra time, that's an extra 30 minutes because it was 1-1 at the end, and then it went to penalties, and it was 11-10, Manchester United lost. And the most ridiculous decision I've ever known, they got David De Gea, the goalkeeper, to take the final penalty, and he missed. And David De Gea also has a record of not saving penalties at all. He's a dreadful penalty saver, and so that's why Villarreal, who were a Spanish team, that's how they actually scored 11 penalties. What a bad decision, and I don't know what the manager was playing, like taking Pogba and all these kind of people. Manchester United were absolutely appalling. Now, I live in Manchester. I don't support Manchester United or Manchester City. As you all know, I support Hull City. But Manchester United last night, Hull City could have beat them with one hand tied behind their back kind of thing. They were just absolutely disgraceful. But anyway, so today's walk, I'm walking from here to a place called, I'm not sure whether it was Whithorn or Whithorn, or I'm not entirely sure. I've had a little ride around the village this morning to see which way out I go, out of this town, and I found that. I asked advice and everything, so I'm all ready to go. Now, I'm wearing a strange attire this morning. I'm wearing a thin shirt, which you can see, just a thin shirt with a tunic, so that I can take the tunic off and put it in the back, because the weather forecast for the first time is suns, bright suns, for the next 4 or 5 hours. Well, by that time I hope to have got to Whithorn, which is around about 10 miles away. My usual safety net is there, where I can get a bus back if I can't make it. And I've parked the van in bright sunshine, but you can't have both things at once. The problem with parking the van in bright sunshine is, yeah, it tops up my batteries through my solar panel, but it gets so hot in the van that my milk goes off and my eggs go off and all. So you can't win, you just can't win. So anyway, that's it for this little chat. I thought I'd tell you all this because I'm going to forget all that on the way. So I'm on my way. Enjoy the films, please. It's lovely to speak to all you people overnight and this morning on, chatting on Facebook and stuff. And thanks for all your good wishes. And as Ralph would say, if he was here, in a Welsh accent, here we go. But as I'm in Scotland, I'm going to say, see you, Jimmy! This is Val, and this is the community shop here in Wigtown. And Val, yeah, you was just telling me that you're actually Welsh.
Yes, I come from a little village called Llanbrynmair near Machynlleth in Montgomeryshire.
Oh, I know it very well.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you are.
Yes, as you walk up the coast.
Yes, from Aberystwyth.
To be honest with you, as a walker,
Yes.
it's a bit of a nuisance because you've got to walk 10 miles in
Up to the estuary
and
and
then 10
down
miles back out.
to Aberdyfi, yes.
To Abu Dhabi, that's right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I did it anti-clockwise.
All right.
So now I've got lots of friends in Pembrokeshire.
Right.
You might know the place called Dinas Cross.
Dinas Cross, yes.
Yes, which is going up towards like Cardigan that way.
Yes,
So would you care to give them a message in Welsh that you've seen Jim?
All right, okay. Bore dydd Iau, yr haul yn tywynnu. Dwi wedi gweld Jim yma yn Wigtown.
Wonderful.
Pob hwyl.
How is business, by the way?
Booming.
Is it?
Yes, we just raise money for local things. We don't send money out anywhere. So we pay out usually about between £40,000 and £45,000 a year to all the local, the bowling club, the football, the brownies, the guides, the churches, food banks,
that's
everything.
Incredible.
But everything is local.
That's very good indeed.
Yeah, and we don't have overheads of paying anybody.
No, well, that's brilliant.
So that's really good, and we enjoy it. It's
terrific.
Like playing shops with real money.
Yes, and you've been here since '73, you said. Now,
Yes.
I remember that because that's the year my daughter was born, actually.
All right,
so
right.
That's like 47 years you've been here. Do you think you'll like it?
Oh, I think we'll be honorary Scots by now, yes. We're Celts anyway.
Yeah, very nice to meet you, Val.
And you as well.
Okay, thank you very
Pob
much.
hwyl.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You just wouldn't believe the feeling inside that I'm actually setting off in sunshine and actually walking without cloud. There's not a cloud in the sky. And I'm really excited about this. It's just fantastic, you know. Just the simple things in life. But if it's going to stay like this now, I mean, the weather forecast tomorrow is dreadful. It's for rain. If I'm to be honest with you, I'm not really too worried about that because I'm ready for a day off. I've just walked. This will be my fourth quite hard day on the trot, and so it's not a worry, and it'll give me a chance to. It means also that I don't have to edit today's film when I get back, so I can be as long as I like, which is one of the reasons I'm setting off late. I can do it tomorrow. There's not that much of a rush. But it's lovely to be out and to be able to just take my time and not have to think about, well, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? So, enjoy this walk. And it's a long one. It's going to be about a 10-miler, but you're in for some treats with the scenery. And I'll see you later. this is Rosie that I've met as I'm walking along here through this lovely little village, and I've forgotten the name of the village again.
It's Badenoch.
We've
We've got the whisky distillery down at the end of the road. So.
Oh right, okay. And you've got this foundation stone studio and shop. So what's that about, Rosie?
It's Fountain Stone, and it's named after my two grandmothers,
Yes.
whose maiden names were Fountain and Stone. So, and it's my little business where I sell my wildlife prints.
Yes.
And I've got natural history books and antiques and all sorts of bits and bobs.
Is this in line with the fact that like Wigtown is the sort of book centre? Are you on the sort of periphery of that then, or I mean, do you do mail order and all that kind of thing as well?
Yeah, so Wigtown is Scotland's national book town, so there's all sorts of bookshops up in town.
Yes.
Me down here, I'm just a mile out of town, and I
Yes.
do online sales and things as well.
Yes.
Lots of us do. And then annually there's the Wigtown Book Festival, which gets thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of visitors, so that's quite a big thing
That'd
for
be
us.
interesting to see that. I've got a friend who lives in Kent.
Right.
He's an avid reader. My friend Clinton. He'd love to know that.
Oh.
He's following me around, giving me advice of, oh, there's a good campsite 10 miles ahead, or there's this, or look out for that. You know, the thing is, he mentions to me museums and things like that. I just don't have the time to stop, to be honest.
No, well,
you know,
you're
walking
spoilt for
10 miles a
scenery
day
around here,
is a big enough job,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's a lot further. And since I've been back on this walk this year, my fitness levels have dropped drastically, and I'm 73 now. I started this walk when I was 69, so you know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's been lovely to meet you. I mean, I know you haven't got a local accent. Where are you actually from originally then?
Originally from Cambridgeshire,
Yes.
lived in Derbyshire for about 15 years and
Yes.
came up here on holiday and never
went
well,
back.
we did go back for 6 months just while we sorted the house and jobs and things out, and then we came. So that was it, about 3 years ago now. So
Yeah, well, that's
yeah,
brilliant.
we'd never go back. It's lovely up here.
Lovely to meet you.
And you.
And the funny thing was, as I was walking past, you was putting your seat out, and
I nearly clocked you one.
Nearly clocked me. I thought, that's a nice welcome. It's been very nice meeting you, Rosie. Thank you
you
very
too.
much.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye bye. It's 10:15 now, and I'm in a place called Badenoch. I've walked about maybe a couple of miles, and when I say it's a village, it's just one long row of houses, but what wonderful places, bungalows, and I don't know how many years they've been there, but quite a lot. And it's warming up out here now. There's one or two clouds, but not many, and it makes such a massive difference. I know I'm repeating myself. It makes such a massive difference to be out here in this wonderful fresh air and sunshine. And I'm going to strip down a little bit as I move along. There is just a little bit of a breeze. If I pan round, you're able to see things moving, but it's not worth it. Just believe me, there is a little bit of a chilled wind, but it's very slight. And plus the fact that I'm actually walking south today, so when I get to the end of this road, I turn left, and then I'm going to be walking more like down the coast road. And I noticed I couldn't get a shot of it actually, but I did notice earlier, looking at the sea, you couldn't see it because of the mist. So it's amazing, isn't it, how the weather changes so quickly. So I'll speak to you later. So I had to make a choice when I was driving along the main road down to Whithorn. It said Garliston, and it just struck me that the bus would be unlikely to carry on straight on, so I took the left fork heading for this place, Garliston, which is by the coast. So I thought, well, let me have a look and see what goes on down here, because it's been very misty and all the rest of it, but at the moment I'm not seeing any sign of the mist at all. But as I walk along, I'm getting nearer and nearer the river, and I can see in the distance that you can't see anything past a brick wall along what could be the harbour. So let's take a look. And Graham, you're with these lovely people out here. What's the score?
They've decided, for some unknown reason, that it would be really, really, really in their own interest to go into some really cold water.
Yes.
They're brave.
Yes.
Some would say foolhardy. But they need someone on shore in case something goes wrong. And so I've decided to take one for the team and stand on shore.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's very good. So with respect, which is your wife then?
Well, that's my partner in the bathing costume.
Yes.
Look, she's waving. Yes.
Yes.
And she's Jennifer.
Yes.
And this is Nick and Annette, who are our friends.
Yes.
Who've graciously allowed us to come up from Newcastle for a couple of days, or come across from Newcastle.
That's brilliant. Hello, girls. You come in. You come to see me. You're a good girl. Come on then. Hello, fella. Hello. Will you come to see me? Hello, girls. You alright there? Oh, you're beautiful, aren't you? Beautiful. You're good girls. You're real good girls. You've been nosy. Come on then. Come on then. Come on then, fellas. Come on then. Well, cheers. I've just walked, I reckon, 4.5, 5 miles, virtually non-stop in this sunshine, but that's nothing. But the amazing thing was, I saw 2 tractors, about 6 cars and 2 cyclists, and it was just endless roads that just seemed to go on and on and on. But I got here and I'm very pleased with myself. It's been a beautiful day. I've kept my hat on because I always remember passing out when I was walking on the east coast of Scotland because I wasn't wearing a hat, and having suddenly gone from the kind of weather we've been having into a day where it was pretty hot actually. I would guess maybe 18, 20, something like that. There was a breeze, but not that bad. Didn't stop my videoing, but then again the fields were a very typical rural surrounding, really. You know, there was some very interesting shots to be had, but not as many as usual. Hardly any houses, not many sheep, not many goats, and so I've filmed. I don't know how much film I've got, but when I edit this, I've got to get the bus back soon, and when I edit it I shall go through this and keep it as simple as possible. It was nice to actually talk to those people this morning, and the lady at the charity shop and the lady in the bookshop, and I know I had a bit of a natter this morning telling you what's going on, just really, if I'm to be honest, to fill it out a little bit, because there's only so many sheep, there's so many cows and so many fields you can see. but I'm pleased to be here, and I'm pleased I made it. And I came through Gorleston simply because, I think the name was Gorleston, simply because that's the bus route. And the main road would have been probably full of trucks. There was a lot of trucks and fast-moving cars. So taking that quieter road, where I eventually met with those lovely women and that fellow who were doing some paddling in the sea when you couldn't even see the shore on the other side, and yet going down, walking down, you could get some good shots of the very low cloud, but you couldn't even see the other side of the river. And well, they were lovely people. I really liked talking with them. They were from near Hexham on the Hadrian's Wall. Very nice people. So I'm gonna have this tea, go and catch my bus, bring the van back here and do some editing. And tomorrow the weather forecast is terrible. I was considering seeing if I can get onto a campsite, but I'm not sure about that. But I've got time yet. I'll think about it. See you later.